Well, welcome back to Historical Tahlequah. We're here in Sally Ross's home at 402 West Shawnee. And Sally, two of the interesting previous owners of this home were Waddy Hudson and his wife, and he was an early day editor of the Cherokee Advocate and had a private fire department before we had a fire department, and had a bank at Park Hill. And Dr. Duckworth, who was an early day physician. So you live in a very historic home. And I observe that you are a collector of antiques and memorabilia.
Each one of these items has a lot of history with it, so go ahead and explain a little bit about them, Beth.
Well, this is a coffee grinder, and early day people ground the coffee and before out of coffee beans, and the ground coffee came down here, and then they could have their coffee. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then these are oil lamps all along here because Tahlequah didn't have electricity.
That's true.
And people used coal oil or kerosene lamps. And then everybody had a cow. I heard you say that the cows were sometimes staked out where Central School is now.
Down by the high school.
Yes.
It was the pasture where the little Bliss boy, Jack Bliss, used to go and bring the cows up so they could milk them. And out back, it was the barn where he would milk the cows, and that was a part of his history.
And sometimes I'm told that the cows were taken out where the city cemetery is too. That was another place. And right over there on the end of that buffet is this wonderful butter churn. You put the cream in the milk in there, and it separated the cream from the butter from the cream. And the paddles turn, and you couldn't go zub, 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 and then zzz, zzz, because it wouldn't come. You had to be steady, didn't you?
But these are items that were used in the home in the early days.
In the early days. Tell about this parlor, Sally. You said this was the parlor.
This was the parlor, and this was the entrance over here. And the children weren't allowed in the parlor. It was just for guests, and there were many important people in our area during this time. And
from 1903 on.
Right, right. And so this was kept just for a parlor, for entertaining the guests, and the children were allowed in the living room.
Okay, Sally, let's come into your sitting room, which was at one time the dining room. And I want you to tell about these wonderful family antiques right here. Just point them out and tell us about them.
Most of the things we have are family history items, and this is what my mother used to iron with probably 100 years ago. And this is my little iron. And this is the iron that was in the home I was raised in. This is Dad's coffee pot, and he would get up early in the morning and build the fire in the old pot-bellied stove and have coffee brewing so all of us in the house could smell the wonderful coffee.
And you're talking about Lee Ross, your husband's father.
Right, right.
Yes, and my mama boarded with your mother and father-in-law,
right,
in Mays County.
And back here I have a collection of bricks, and they're bricks from different places. Many of them are over 100 years old that I've got from different places, but we don't have time to go through all my bricks yet.
But I see one from the seminary.
Yes.
I see one from the seminary. But I want to, if you'll let me, I want to get over to the organ and play a little bit on your pump organ. Is that okay?
Sounds wonderful.
Okay, I'm going to move that way. Oh, this is a wonderful organ, Sally. It's an old Packard, and I'm going to pedal it and play. It has a wonderful tone, Sally, and I'm observing all the things on your organ, this wonderful old organ from the turn of the century, and I'm seeing all the wonderful things from your Indian heritage, the pottery and the paintings, the prints from your Indian heritage. And I understand that you are from Nancy Ward's family,
yes,
the beloved woman of the Cherokee.
Yes, we are, and our family came to this area before statehood. So we have a lot of history in the family that we have shared through the years. So we are delighted to have you in our home today.
It is so wonderful to be here, Sally, and so wonderful for the history of this community to see in another home with the Cherokee heritage and the interest in the old-time things and the interest in Tahlequah and the fact that the family has always worked for this community. That is just great. Sally, we're going to finish up our visit to your home on the inside with this Victrola, and I want you to tell about it and what it means to your family.
This Victrola is very special to us because it has been in the family since it was purchased in the early 1900s. And we purchased, each one of these records were purchased individually, and they are the big thick records that play on this Victrola, and it's a wind up over there to get it going. We didn't have electricity then, but we sang a lot of the songs then that we sing now.
And you had religious songs and popular songs.
Right. Rock of Ages is one of them that was on there. And that's
popular
something
songs.
That is...
And those kinds of experiences account for your family for being so musical, I think,
right.
Sally. This instrument represents a lot of enjoyment and a lot of training. Well, Sally, we're going to take a commercial break, and then we'll come back outside and see the exterior of your home.
Thank you for coming.